from last week's some video about the elites collapse or whatever. It's one of the videos I'm not going to watch and rewatch one of my videos just for this video. But like, I think it was sometime last week I made this video right where basically I was talking about how like all of a sudden the Mongols just took over the everything right in Asia and all that. And there was this one territory that they didn't take over in Asia, and that was Tartaria, or it's supposedly called Tartaria or Tartary or what other people call it, whatever you interpret it. Like there's this conspiracy with it, and with the kids on trains all of a sudden the 1800s to the 1900s, early 1900s, right? Like there's all of a sudden these baby incubators, right? Like right here with the baby incubator conspiracy. Yeah, I'm just showing you the footage of all these babies being born and all that. And there's literal baby incubators back in the days in the mid 1800s. So like, I wonder, like, people say like, we've been, like our the European or like the American freaking generations of before were like obliterated and were reborn through these baby incubators. That's a conspiracy. But right now we're making basically these baby incubators, right? Called the artificial womb, right? Like we're recreating, like, well, the elites are recreating this technology. So, you know, it kind of like happens during a crash, right? Right before a crash happens, this shit happens. Like, there was the mud flood. Um, that just that society didn't talk about, only in conspiracy circles or truthers circles. They talk about this mud flood. And yeah, this mud flood. Like maybe I'll post up more videos about this Tartaria because like seems like less people know about this. So I'll try to find some videos and put them up here if they're allowed. But let's see here. But yeah, so like before like this mud flood collapse of societies, like there's these pictures of these towns, right? These towns were empty, like no civilization, almost no civilization at all, looking like they're living their lives throughout this. Like not this one I'm talking about, but like some other pictures. I'm just gonna post those videos up sometime in the near future, okay? Because it takes a lot of time to fucking find this shit, and it's long videos, long. So I'll try my best to post it. But you know, like during the Roman freaking collapse of the civilizations, right? Like right after it, all of a sudden there was this new Islamic empire, right? Right after the collapse, and like almost not in previous histories, right? Like the Arabs was a thing besides before uh, the collapse of Rome, but all of a sudden, this new group of people like have this great power of people, and they'd be mixed racing themselves with the the people that they occupied, right? And yeah, so like they come into pictures with going against the Byzantine and the Persian Empire or whatever they called themselves at the time. Now they call themselves Iran. So there was like multiple different names that went back in the past for, but I just call them Persians just to make it easy. So like Persia was taken over, and like parts of China was taken over too, and India. So like this was like a big massive force all of a sudden, and you know, all of a sudden in history again, like 600 years after the the empire, the Islamic empire, right? There was the Mongol Empire. All of a sudden, they came into importance, and they took over almost all of Asia and parts of Europe. And yeah, but it quickly fell apart for whatever reason. It's still uncertain how they fell apart. But yeah, they took over China and shit during the collapse of the freaking empire of the Muslims. So that's pretty easy. You get my point. Like, I don't know if you get my points in my other videos, but this video here, the main point is: are we making a new race to take over other territories? Like, people are saying like, oh, well, China's going to take over next, or Israel's going to take over next, right? But we're making this new race of, what people call them humans, or even through the artificial wound. It's not made through the human; it's made through the technology. Of course, there's some ingredients of from humans they have to do in order to create a person. But are we making the new artificial being or person, a new race of people? Just like how all of a sudden there was the Islamic Empire, and like with the Tartary mud flood collapse, right? Like all of a sudden, like yeah. Also, you could replace people, so it could be a replacement, like how the Europeans were replaced with this new freaking people, right? They're all of a sudden artificially created, artificial mothers, right? Through these incubators, right? So, and like I remember hearing from my family, like they didn't like in my European side of my fucking family, like my mom's side, she like her grandmother or her great grandmother, right? She didn't know what happened to her mother or something. That's what she told me. So the world's a wild place at times. So let me know, of histories that, like you don't know of your past family that they tell you that they don't know either back in the day. So yeah, that would be pretty interesting. And other collapse creates about this new being or like a new race. So please tell me. All right, bye bye.